Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Jaron Brignac. In a few minutes here, I'm going to have one of my best friends, call him a brother. He's currently incarcerated, but as you can see, currently I'm operating a business called VPCS Law Evictions. We're a document service. We provide service to attorneys, landlords, property owners, and also tenants. So in just a few minutes, we're going to have Adrian Johnson, aka AJ, longtime friend of mine. He's going to hop on. We're going to discuss one of the cases that I am helping him on. Unfortunately, it has something to do with COVID-19 during the pandemic and how they were mixing and matching inmates with each other, healthy inmates with non-healthy inmates, which resulted in him to be impacted along with a lot of other inmates. We're going to get to that shortly. Stay tuned.
At Global Tel-Link, you have a prepaid call from
Adrian Johnson.
an incarcerated individual at the California Medical Facility, Vacaville, California. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded. You have a...
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. I'm speaking a little loud because I was finally able to get this recording up and running. So I know we got a short time. So what I'm gonna do, right? I'm gonna start off with having you introducing yourself, basically disclosing your current condition. And then I'm gonna move right along with some questions that's gonna dive into our relationship, how we met, and what's going on with this civil rights case.
What's going on with what?
The civil rights case that you currently have.
Oh, okay.
So, AJ, man, go ahead, introduce yourself, man.
My name is Adrian Johnson, and I've been incarcerated for about 26 years now under 3 strikes law.
The time that you've been in, let's go to how we met each other. We met each other back in, this is New Folsom, I want to say 2004?
2004.
2004,
Yeah,
yes.
2004.
Right on the money, man.
CER, New Folsom.
CER New Folsom.
Yeah, high security.
Right. Okay, man. That was 04. I'm gonna love to dive into some more details about that, but I want to basically focus in on one of the most important things that is, well, not just important. Everything, all of that is important, but I want to focus on. I want to bring everybody's attention to this cruel and unusual punishment that is being swept under the rug constantly. Go ahead and I'm going to, do some I'm going to mention some details about the case. But before I do that, go ahead and disclose to everybody what happened with during COVID, and how did it impact you to where it resulted in you having to file a lawsuit against them?
2020, while housed at TSP Solano State Prison, during the advent of COVID was going around, and I have filed for appeal, requesting that I'll be placed in a single cell so that I can 6 feet social distance. I'm a chronic asthmatic. I have valley fever that I contracted in prison. I have COPD, and as well some other underlying health conditions that make me susceptible to contracting COVID. At the time, I was in a cell, sharing a cell with another guy. So I was in close proximity to living with somebody else, so I filed an appeal asking for a single cell so that I could safeguard against COVID. So, of course, they denied the appeal, and about a month later, I was transferred to a dorm setting. So this dorm setting, it was open. There was no walls keeping me isolated from other people. I was exposed to 200 other inmates. And about a month of my being there, I was isolated because a dorm mate of mine had contracted COVID. And so now I'm in isolation. After running numerous tests, testing to see if I was COVID positive, I came back negative, right? And about 2 months of isolation, I was placed in a whole nother dorm. So what I noticed when I was inside this dorm is that you had inmates around there coughing, still showing signs of COVID, fatigue, just still walking around sick. And what I realized is that they placed me in an environment where there was housing people who had tested positive for COVID.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
I guess these were the people that were so-called COVID positive resolved. However, they still were showing signs and symptoms of having COVID. So after about being like a month in that environment, I was isolated again because they said that I had potentially been exposed to COVID. Let me back up something. So I was in a dorm with 5 other gentlemen, and one by one these were gentlemen who had never tested positive for COVID, right? And they one by one they started testing positive. So I was the last person in the dorm, and finally the medical came and spoke with me and said that I've been exposed to COVID. And I was isolated. And once isolated, that's when I tested positive for COVID. And experienced a host of symptoms. COVID pneumonia. I had COVID pneumonia for months. Having problems with breathing, migraine headaches, fatigue. It just extreme fear, trauma from experiencing COVID. And testing positive with COVID, they placed me to this gym. And let me tell you, man, the living conditions in there was terrible, man. It was filthy. It was unsanitary. It was nasty, man. And that was something that, I had to endure, and made it through that, fortunately. And subsequently, I ended up filing another appeal, bringing that very issue to their attention, how they intentionally infected me with COVID. They had the opportunity to isolate me at the very beginning and place me to a single cell to safeguard me from catching COVID, but they didn't. And so, as a result of everything that I went through, a lawsuit was compiled, put together by you, and we submitted. So right now, it's currently in the courts, pending.
Okay.
In the Solano Superior Court pending.
Okay. Let me start firing away with some key questions surrounding your complaint for everybody. So I got your complaint pulled up on my computer right now, and they were supposed to follow protocols for social distancing for inmates who were housed there, correct?
Yes, they were supposed to.
Yeah, so they had their own internal. They got their own internal protocol. I know they have the CDC and our Title 15, and they also have. They had to. I know they had to make up some protocols that was a requirement for social distancing that you also may be aware of at that time. And then high-risk inmates were supposed to be entitled to accommodation to basically help avoid serious or fatal contraction of COVID-19. And you were considered a high-risk inmate because, from what I know, you had suffered from asthma. You suffered from asthma, acute asthma, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
COPD, valley fever, and some other respiratory issues.
Right. So then, by you being aware of all this stuff taking place and what's going on, you initially was just trying to protect yourself by making them aware of this through the grievance procedure. And for those that don't know what the grievance procedure is, I'm going to elaborate on that real quickly. It's a CDC 602 administrative appeal. That's for the internal grievance process for inmates whenever they want to complain about a condition or something that's going on, which you have a right to. Because of the Prison Litigation Reform Act, we can't jump the gun. You can't just basically file a complaint against the officers or against the prison. They require you to exhaust the administrative remedies first. And that's what AJ did. And instead of trying to resolve it, it resulted in them just basically ignoring it. It fell on deaf ears. And as you heard, he ended up contracting COVID-19. So they were made aware of that before all this happened. So the Civil Rights Act under 14 U.S.C. 1983 is a specific federal act that allows for not just prisoners, but people outside as well of prison to file a complaint where the state has acted under the color of state law or law in violating a party's right, especially a government official. Cruel and unusual punishment. There's a specific case law called Farmer versus Brennan under 511 U.S.
Your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Under 511 U.S. 825. And to plead the 8th Amendment cruel and unusual punishment claim, to prevail on that, a plaintiff or prisoner must prove that he objectively suffered a sufficient serious deprivation, that subjectively prison officials acted with deliberate indifference in allowing or causing the deprivation to occur. And then they rely on another United States Supreme Court case called Wilson versus Cedar. I'm not sure if I pronounced that name correct. Brutalized name sometimes. Then basically the other element is that the prison official must know of and disregard an excessive risk to an inmate health or safety. Now, when you were impacted, how did they treat you medically after they known you had COVID-19 as their fault? Do you recall? I know it's in the complaint, but I want you to just elaborate on that for us. Like, how did they treat you after they realized you were impacted by COVID-19?
In the gym, they would do daily vital checks. They would check my vitals, check my temperature, listen to my lungs. The doctor would show up probably. It wasn't a daily event for him. So he would show up probably. I want to say once every 4 or 5 days or something like that. He would show up and he would listen to my lungs, see what's going on.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
Looks like this.
At one point at the beginning, he ordered an X-ray, and that's how I discovered that I had COVID pneumonia. Right, because I was not breathing like I would normally breathing.
Okay.
I'll call you back.
All right, we're going to wait on you to call us back. No, it's limited 15 minutes. All right.
Tell Link you have a prepaid call from
Hey, Jaron Johnson.
An incarcerated individual at the California Medical Facility, Vacaville, California. This call.
Yeah. So, I think Tylenol was prescribed. They also prescribed me some Pedialyte because my energy level was so far. Also, man, I just want to point out too, right? So before this COVID, before I was contracted COVID, I requested to be vaccinated. I noticed that they were distributing the vaccination around, and I submitted a health care form outlining my health conditions, and I was requesting this COVID vaccine. And they told me that I would have to wait my turn. So, like, it wasn't no urgency there. And so, by the time it came around, I got vaccinated. By the time I was COVID positive.
Wow. Okay. All right. Thank you, man. So AJ reached out to me. I'm going to explain my background a little bit more. We were cellies from like 2004 up until like 2000 and I think for about like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And during that interim, before I met AJ, I was becoming pretty versed in prisoner civil rights and also post-convictions, which is petitions for writ of habeas corpus and writs and appeals. That was my primary focus because I just hated being bullied by the law and being ignorant to it. So when we got to know each other, of course, we studied a lot. Some things that, meditation, sit-high yoga, if y'all don't know what that is, it's a correspondent course. That helps a lot, helped me a lot. I know it helped AJ a lot. In fact, he still sends me courses in the mail that I no longer get because I'm no longer incarcerated. But I can still get it while I'm out, but it's different rules apply. But then when I got out, my services migrated to family law, evictions. But that prisoner rights law, I've been doing it. I did it for so long, and I know a lot of it. So he reached out to me, and he already had everything ready. It just needed to be drafted and filed. And because of his current condition, he doesn't have access to the resources that I have to be able. He do, but it's a slower process. And as busy as I've been out here, time to time, I do my best to make sure that, at least that it's filed. And we had an issue with service. We finally got them served. The Attorney General, who represents the state officials for that prison, has now accepted service. And now we're at this point where any attorney, and I mean any attorney, you don't have to specialize in civil rights. You just have to be an attorney that can also trust a paralegal. It's work. This is a case that is very solid and very wrong and is going on and has went on. This is just a fraction of everything that's went on. AJ's case is not the only one. So
no, it's not.
I'm just a document service. And I have attorneys out here that I work with for evictions. However, we're now taking advantage of this moment to gain or attract either a civil rights attorney or an attorney that trusts the process of what we're doing. Because representation is definitely needed. And in my opinion,
yes, it is.
It's not just an investment. It's also an investment in humanity inside prison.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
that was the purpose of this first podcast. You're my first podcast, brother. And
Okay.
there's gonna be many more.
Yeah.
There's gonna be many more
It's
that
my
I can
first
make out.
podcast.
But
Yeah.
man, before I end it, man, is there anything else you want to get out that you might want to, let the people know, that's good going on with you, or like, before we end everything tonight?
I want to say, well, I'm alive, right? And that's good, and I'm of a positive mind state. No matter the chaos that I'm living in, so I mean that's great. I just want to say as well, that wasn't the only time that I was struck with COVID. I was struck with COVID again. Unfortunately, and of course, it was due to the negligence of the custody officials there at Solano State Prison.
This call and/or telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
But I'd just like to say, for anybody that's listening, hearing this, like Mr. Brignac pointed out, this is about humanity. A lot of times, we who are incarcerated, we're not seen, we're not heard, we're not regarded because of the label and the stigma that is attached to us. And I ask whoever's out there listening just to have a heart and listen to your heart and investigate what's been shared and spoken about. What this brother Brignac is doing for me he's not only doing it for me, but he's doing it for all the people that's incarcerated that are without a voice. And I appreciate you, man, for taking your time and effort, man, to help me out. I know you got a lot going on out there, man, and to reach back into this place and give back from a place of not even asking anything from me, man, it's commendable, And I thank you, man.
Man, you are sincerely and thoroughly welcome, bro. We are brothers, man. We laugh together. We because of you put me up on my music game. I was real green on a lot of music.
Right.
A lot of my vocabulary pronunciations, despite all the law I was learning, was off. He used to check me on that. We studied together on a level 4, man.
Yeah.
You know my family. My family know you.
Yeah.
It just happened to be that my time was up.
This call and/or
My 12
telephone
years was
number
up,
will be
man.
monitored and recorded.
You had a light term, but I know that they gotta let you out sometime, man, regardless.
Yeah.
And what's going on
Yeah.
with the conditions, they still have to treat people like human beings up there. And
Yeah.
that's what the fight has always been about. And that's what my fight has always been about.
Yeah.
And that's why when I met you, I was versed in civil rights because I didn't like it. And I had to figure something out. So yeah, man, I love you, bro. I gotta get going, man. This is not gonna be the last
All right.
time. And I'm pretty sure this is going to do nothing but grow. It's going to be very impactful, and a voice. You're one of the voices.
Yeah.
This is a platform that I'm creating for voices such as yourself to get out to the society.